In. All right, I am live with Wolfgang Klein. How are you doing, Wolfgang?
Nice, thank you.
Very
Very
good.
nice. Yeah.
Slightly off camera in this angle we have here, but we're going to be discussing Assault Red Horizon 41. But before we get into that, why don't you we don't have any folks, well, there's a few folks coming in now, but why don't you let everybody know where you're remoting in from and a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so my name is Wolfgang Klein. I'm 43 years old and I have married and have three sons.
Hmm.
So I'm very busy at home beside my hobbies. And I live in a far eastern area of Bavaria, which is in Germany, a state of Germany, the southeastern part, close to the Czech Republic, so 20 kilometer and 50 kilometer close to Austria. So if you take a look to the map, you see the far southeastern part of Germany. And here's not a big city. Here's not an industrial site. It's quiet, and you can go fishing and hunting and deal with all the nature. Yeah.
Ah, very nice. And we've got, I'll pull it in real quick. So Jackie Tiger says, hi, looking forward to this. So there we go. We've already got a good comment coming in. All right. So some of what we're going to do here, and I know at one point we'll do some screen share just so the folks know what we're going to be doing. And you've got some very interesting information that hasn't been shared a lot. But I was curious, what gave you the inspiration to work on a tactical World War II game? Where did the idea kind of germinate from? Where did you get the idea?
This is a very long story. If you are interested, you can of course read some words about on our website. I started a developer's diary, but in the core, the history goes back to my school time, and I have a very nice friend, Erich. You can find him, of course, in the credits. And we started developing in a time in the 90s. Yeah, so there are not much possibilities for us to get into other war games in this part of Germany, especially you have no big stores and things to buy this kind of games. And we started to play, of course, war games on a C64 Commodore, yeah, and
Sure.
with the beginning of the personal computers, we started, of course, with games like Panzer Strike from Gary Grigsby, who is famous, I guess. It's and yeah, until now with War in the East, a state-of-the-art war game designer. And of course, we dig in and we played Steel Panthers from SSI Games. Was a very good inspiration for us to dig in such kind of games. And we started to make it this time our own concepts and different periodics like Napoleonics, medieval times. But we came always back to, of course, World War II, and of course, both of us we have family members served at that time. We hear stories about, and we were interested in military technology at this time. And yes, and we drafted some concepts in our school times. Then we left school. He went to the army as a Panzer Grenadier, and I went to the German Navy for serving 6 years. He served 4 years, and we met together after that time, going again studying on school. And we lived together and started again playing around. And in what is around 2003 and 2003, we had a lot of more opportunities to play on a PC because the evolution has gone forward. And then I can remember combat mission, of course. The first one, Normandy, and then Barbarossa to Berlin was a very yeah, we played very intensively. And I brought back from a time in US. I brought back first tactical war game. Of course, it was Band of Brothers
Mm.
um, and Panzer Grenadier. And we started to with this. And also, I grabbed a copy of ASL.
Hmm.
And we tried to dig in, but it was us. Yeah, I think it's better to play such a game, such a detailed game on a computer, because of all the databases behind. And so, but the idea was still there to perform a known tactical war game. and then as we want, because we started to develop around a band of brothers and several lock and load models, and I have of course worked in 2006 for lock and load, developing the first random battle generator. This was my design, and I sold this, of course, to David Heath from Rock and Load, and at that time I thought, okay, if it is such a good thing and somebody wants it, we can of course proceed into our origin idea and go into our own tactical system, which is of course how you call it, between in a niche, because it simulates small scale and not so popular conflict or campaigns. So we wanted to focus on smaller scales and of course not so popular things. And yes, it was the idea, and we started, I guess, 2006, 8, and we proceeded. 2013 was a milestone, because then we had nearly the setup of today, and then we proceeded. I lost a lot of time searching some publisher who takes over the concept, brings it to reality, and I found out, interest was there, but everybody said, yeah, I have such kind of system in my portfolio, and and then I lost a lot of time in talking and dealing and building prototypes and sending them all over the world to different publishers, and I had no success in that. And that was a turning point, and we decided, okay, we tried to start a Kickstarter, and this was a few years now ago, 2 years ago, and yes, it was a horrible hell of a lot of work to bring online a Kickstarter campaign when you have no idea how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And but it was never our plan to do all the stuff, make a company like Assault Games is now a company. It's registered now since this year. You have to plan all the figures and production, manufacturing, and it was never our plan. We wanted to have a good game in which we want to have our fun to play and to develop our own ideas around to get a good game feeling, a realistic and a fast-paced game feeling in the game flow. And yes, but now, yes, I'm the owner of Assault Games, but it was not my intention, and I have to manage all the things, marketing, talk with people, send them around, get reviews. I have a friend that's there, I can bring it in and so on. So the idea is a long time ago in my back to school time, over several iterations, and yes, now we are here, and we are very happy because it's a nice system in our thinking too.
Yeah, and a lot of work having your own company, but then you've got that nice total control so that you can kind of handle how you want to release, and I know you've got plans that we'll go into that'll talk about some of the future as well. Yeah. So, but that is interesting. You had to go through that. I didn't know that you'd shopped it around and shown prototypes, but everybody was like, well, we got a tactical system already. We've got a World War II game already. Yeah. Now, very, very quick, just from kind of my perspective, what was really interesting when you first even approached me was the dice system with the cards that you have in here. And I remember my first thought, having not even seen the game yet, was, well, is it going to be too light? And then once the game arrived, I found out that the dice and card system makes the game approachable, because it was a lot heavier than I thought as far as the tactics and all the things you can do. The cards and the dice simplify that portion of the game rules, but it's like it opened it up for a lot more crunchiness in other areas. By crunchiness, I just mean like detail-oriented things that take, just a lot of brain power, but because of the very nice system of the dice and the cards, it made it approachable. Now I'll let you explain the dice and the cards, because I think that's what a lot of people know.
Yes.
It's very unique, and I'm even curious, a little nugget, where you got the idea to use the dice resolution system.
Yeah, thank you for the words. Yes, this has also a history how to achieve such a dice system, and I have to refer, of course, to a very good friend of mine, Michael. He's also our historian, flanked our project to get no problems from the political side. In Germany, it's always a thing to publish such games. But the dice system itself, so we started, as I told, a long year before now, and I'm personally a guy, I want to have details in the game. So the first concepts, we managed the crew of a tank. Yes, and we managed all the technical stuff in the tank, like engine and propulsion and such stuff. And every tank has, of course, its own gameplay, and it was horrible. And Michael is a guy, he plays a lot of games. So all genres from tabletop war games to Euro games. And he's a very experienced gamer, as Erich and, of course, but I'm more kind of a creative head here. And I'm losing myself in the details. And we defined, of course, based on realistic weapon attributes. Like we have analyzed a 50 millimeter tank gun and analyzed range bands from 100, 500,000 meters, and what are they penetrating by 0, 30, 90-degree angle, and so on. So we analyzed a lot. We made databases and calculated, of course, abstracted hit possibilities and penetration possibilities in a big database. And then we had a system. You have to, like in other tacticals, you roll for a hit, then you roll for a penetration, then you roll for a damage. Yeah, and Michael said, it took too long. You have 20 units on the board. You have 20 units. You are shooting through 20 times. In the worst case, you have 3 rolls from the attacker, and you have from 20 rolls from the defender, and so on. And it takes too long time. Nobody wants to play. And so we thought about how to streamline it. And then that is a crucial point for me, because I'm a realistic fan. Then you have to cut down and abstract into such kind of dice system that you have to combine realistic behavior of weapons, shooting on targets and penetrating, and the statistic behind. And of course, you have to add a certain part of luck, because when you talk to veterans, or I'm so old veteran, you talk about luck is a big part of a success in a fight. And of course, we wanted to add this, and so we talked to streamline it and cut it down to 1 roll for the attacker and 1 roll for the defender. And we took a look mostly to modify the defender's role and not so much the attacker's role. We have an example with -1 attack die, but we said it's easier for the players, because such a game could still take long if you make a bigger battle. So you have to keep be aware of your head capacity. So it could be it could be very tough to play 4 hours such a game for your brain. So we cut it down, and of course we have integrated in this value, in this dice, all these features like realistic behavior, like additional weaponry. So when we go to newer expansions, we have, of course, newer units. They had a better equipment in probably 43. Yes, they have a Panzerschreck, or they have a bazooka use that, and we integrate this in the dice colors. So you have a better chance to make damage. And that is mostly the work of Erich, who does all the statistics. And I think it's a very, very, I like the system really because it's easy. As you said, you grab your dice and roll. That's it. Hello? Could anybody write a comment? I'm not sure if Chief is online. Yes, can you hear me? Then I can answer your question, of course. Okay. And can you hear me? Just a thumb up. Yes, okay. So I read the question about the conventions. Officially, we are not at Essen, but Michael and I will visit at Essen, and I'm there on a Saturday. And on the stand of our manufacturer, Wingo Games, I will present the game from 10 morning, roughly 1, 2 to after lunch. So you can come and visit and speak personally, of course. Yes, Stalingrad. Yeah, it would be a nice expansion, but I wanted to show later on a few slides of our development roadmap, but I think I have to wait till Bart is again online. Yes, Saturday, 10 a.m. I try to be there on, let me see what kind of stand it is. Wait a moment, I have to check. So it is hole 6, 6H103. Hole 6, 6H103. Yeah, I cannot write something here. I have no thing. Yes. The chief. Jackie, I think I will make some pictures and make a report, of course. We will see. So, but it's not official, it's just kindness of the manufacturer, because I wanted to see how such a booth is working. I was never read such kind of convention. But probably next year, then I will plan an official attention. But it depends, of course, time and material. Yes, I had prepared a roadmap, but I need a part to share, or I can try to if I share my desk. Let's see if this works. Okay. Bart has to agree sharing, so I cannot show you something, but I can, of course, tell you other things. So it's a pity. So what are we working on at the moment? Yes, so we have call it roadmap. We have a full roadmap. Red Horizon was, of course, the core game for the Eastern Front series. So we are intending to build up new things for the Eastern Front, and Red Horizon is the core game. So first thing is, of course, the expansion in the background here. It's tactical air and off-board artillery support. I'm currently proving the last e-proofs from the manufacturer, and I wanted to start production latest next week, start of next week, then we will have it on stock end of 22. And my personal target is to bring it out to the customers / pre-orders in front of Christmas this year, but it depends, of course, on the logistics we have at that time. So it's not in our hands, but it looks good so far. So there's one thing. And the expansion you can get now in our web shop. So we do not perform here a Kickstarter, because Kickstarter is so much effort, and I do it all alone. So I hope for your patience. So we have a web shop set up with a pre-order price, and there you can get it. After this, we are working on some kind of fortification, entrenchment, and pioneer expansion. This will come. Yes, and the area that I'm talking about, we will place this also in the beginning of Barbarossa. We are talking at the moment about it could be Bialowica, the forest, with bunkers and of course heavy resistance of Soviet forces in a forest area. Or we will focus on Odessa and bring in the Romanians together with Germans to attack some bunker lines in Odessa. But it's not decided now. But the rules behind are we are close to bring them into the system. But then we have to decide what kind of scenario. This will be an expansion in future, and of course, Stalingrad is a huge topic, and but then we are a year later, and now we are at 41. So depends what we have to do, but the idea is of course written down. But the biggest thing we are working on is now founding the Western Front series, and the Western Front series will find a start with Sicily 43. This will also a core game. But in the Assault system is modular, so you can combine, of course, all the game boxes you have. And for instance, you can try to play with the US forces against the Soviets in Barbarossa. So it's a quite modular system. But Sicily 43 will be focused on the first 2 days, 10th and 11th of July, and of course the airborne operations in the first days to delay all the counterattacks. I wanted to show you some slides. Unfortunately, I cannot do this because I prepared some examples of the artwork from the map tiles. Ingrid and her husband Michael is working since month on it, and we will bring in then, of course, the US Rangers, this 82nd Airborne, the Livorno division from the Italians with the Mobile Group E. Quite a good quality troop, but less chance against naval bombardment and airstrikes. So yes, first 2 days, which means starting with the landings at Gila, city of Gila, capturing Gila, which will be inside the campaign, and defending the counterattacks and preventing the Germans, Hermann Göring division and the Livorno to break through the beaches. So this is, yeah, we are quite good in time, and yes, I think we make progress. Brings us up. The bigger part, I guess, is again playtesting. We should take us this time to have a well balanced system. But the units are nearly close. Eric has made all the statistics. I just work on the unit cards and wait for Ingrid for the artwork for the units. Yes, that is Sicily, and of course an expansion of this will be Primosol Bridge, because we do like the idea of Green Devils versus Red Devils. So far, so good for the Western Front series. Okay, I just read. Going back to Red Horizons, are there scenarios? What are some of the time frames for them? I ask because I have a 10-year-old who enjoys these types of games. Time frames, so I talking about timeline. That's a good question. are really depending on my friends supporting me in developing. We make it all beside our professional jobs. So we have all full-time jobs in other areas. So we make it in our free time. What I can say is we want to have the Fortification Pioneer expansion for Red Horizon somewhere next year. And Sicily should be ready end of next, beginning of 2024. But of course, there's a lot of work to do now for it still. We will see if we beat this timeline, but it's not guaranteed now, what I say. But we have a plan on a long perspective to bring out assault games on other things like operational campaigns. But yes, I cannot share my slide. Where is Bart? But okay. Yes. Bart writes, looks like the provider is the problem. What I will do is schedule a part 2 in the future. Okay, he wants to shift this date. Okay, yes, we can do this. It's a pity, really. So he has a problem with the provider and he wants to organize a new episode, live episode. And so I think he will quit the session later on. This is success of Red. I'm sure you've had other designers approach you. Any other designers games in the pipeline for assault games? Yes, indeed, there is one. I cannot talk about it, but I haven't got in contact. Has an own concept, but it's not an it's more fictitious. Setup in the Greek area, so in the antique area, but I haven't seen his concept now. So yes, if he comes around the corner, I will take a closer look, and if it fits to us, I'm willing to help young publishers to get a box into the shelf, because it was our dream, and it is a hard road, and we've done it, and so yes. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we have to quit up this stream. I'm very sorry for it, and apologizes from Bart, who has technical problems with the stream. We will schedule a second episode from here, and I hopefully can then show you slides and a few insights on what we are working on, because we have very nice artwork expecting for Sicily and of course for other things. Yes, I'm very sorry, but I thank you for this audience and for your time. And if you have questions, you can of course write me an email or contact on Facebook or other channels. Or Board Game Geek is also where I take a look every day, and I will of course try to answer properly. Yeah, so I will quit, and bye bye. Greetings from Bavaria. Have a nice evening or morning or midday. Okay, bye.